All right, let's dive into a story that is so wild, it has some of the biggest free market capitalists out there screaming socialism at one of their own guys. Yeah, you heard that right. Let's get into it.
Donald Trump? A socialist? I know, it sounds completely insane, but that is exactly what some of his staunchest allies are calling him over this gigantic government deal with a tech company. We are going to break down what happened, why it's causing such a massive political mess, and what it all means, so stick around.
So, what is this deal? What is this bombshell that has everybody so fired up? Well, it all kicks off with one of the biggest names in the entire tech industry.
Okay, so here's what went down. The Trump administration announced something pretty much unheard of. The United States government was officially becoming a part owner of the semiconductor giant Intel. Now, this isn't just some random stock purchase. This is a huge strategic move to try and lock down America's computer chip supply.
And we are not talking about a tiny little slice of the pie here. No, we are talking about a full 10% of the entire company. That's a serious chunk of a major American corporation, now owned, in part, by the government. And the price tag? Yeah, it's a big one. According to Intel's own official statement, this whole deal was an $8.9 billion investment. That is a massive amount of public cash being pumped directly into a private company. So you can probably guess what happened next, right? The reaction was instant, and it was, well, it was brutal, especially from some of the loudest cheerleaders for capitalism. The outrage came fast, and it came from a pretty surprising place. Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, he's a very vocal Trump supporter, but he went on CNBC and just did not hold back at all, saying he absolutely abhors this idea. You see, for O'Leary, this move just spits in the face of what American capitalism is supposed to be all about. His whole point is that the free market is meant to be tough. Good companies make it, and the ones that fail, well, they're supposed to fail.
And he didn't stop there. He went even further, basically saying that Intel's performance has been so bad that the company should have been broken up and sold for parts years ago. From his perspective, taxpayer money should never, ever be used to prop up a company that the market thinks is failing.
And O'Leary wasn't some lone voice crying in the wilderness. Oh no, the feeling was shared all across the political right. You had Senator Rand Paul asking if this was a step toward socialism. Pundit Eric Erickson called it socialism with an R next to its name. The message was loud, and it was crystal clear. So, with this rebellion brewing on his own side, how did Trump respond? Well, pretty much exactly how you'd expect him to. He fought back. Hard. He jumped on Truth Social, and in classic all-caps fashion, he claimed he got the whole thing for free. Not just that, but he said it was already worth billions, and that it was all pure profit for America. He even asked why stupid people couldn't see what a great deal it was. Okay, so this right here is the heart of the matter. It's a flat-out contradiction. On one side, you have Trump yelling, "I paid zero." And on the other, you have Intel's official corporate filing that clearly says it was an $8.9 billion investment. So what gives? How can both of these things possibly be true at the same time? This whole thing really boils down to a massive, fundamental question. Is the government just picking winners and losers with our money? Or is this some kind of genius new financial strategy for the whole country? So how did the administration explain this? Well, they were very careful not to call it a bailout. No. Instead, Trump's economic team framed it as a down payment. A down payment on what exactly? A U.S. sovereign wealth fund. Okay, so the idea here is that the government would start acting like a giant investment company, buying up stakes in really important industries to build wealth for the nation and secure our future. Lots of other countries do this, but for the United States, it's a pretty radical idea. And that right there gets us to the core of this whole debate. Is this a really smart, savvy financial plan to make the country richer and more secure? Or is it exactly what the critics are saying it is, the government owning the means of production, which, is pretty much the classic definition of socialism? Which leaves us with the big billion-dollar question that I want to throw to you. Is it ever okay for the government to use our taxpayer money to buy a piece of a private company like Intel? Is this a smart investment strategy, or is it a really dangerous path to go down? I really want to know what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you found this breakdown useful, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers that get straight to the point.